Welcome back to Half Moon's Picks, and this is week 11 in the NFL. Week 10 was pretty bad. I think after Monday night was 8 underdogs covering. A lot of favorites didn't even win the game, let alone covered the game, like the Patriots and the Atlanta Falcons. Last week I went 2-4-1, probably my worst week I had throughout the whole season. I told you to pick Atlanta, which they outright lost to Cleveland Browns. Which don't get it to me. A lot of people say, oh, you know, Atlanta 27th ranked defense. And I was like, well, Browns are 32nd ranked defense. You know, so I don't get it. They had better offense by far. Should have easily covered, but, you know, the Falcons are similar to Detroit. You know, just, you know, I don't understand it either. Just second one, I told you to pick New Orleans. They covered by far. That was an onslaught. After that game, the Bengals fired their defensive coordinator. I'll talk more about that at the end of the video. And the Kansas City Chiefs, I told you, they think they would cover by 12 or 13. That is a big spread, 17, but I just couldn't put my money on that Arizona team. Fourth was the Jacksonville. The biggest comments in the discussion last week's video. And it ended up being a push. So, you know, you're right, I'm right, you know, it was a push. So, and by Twitter, I was 1 and 2 on the unders and overs. Yeah, like I said, 2-4-1. Not a great week. Hope to bounce back. I got some few surprises for you. This last week I told you, I was just coming down with the cold. Now I'm just getting over the cold. So my voice is gone. I could have did the same thing as my good friend up in Canada, Bridgewater's finest, and just have a bunch of text for you to read. But, you know, I'm going to man it out, you know. Like, if you don't understand me, that's fine. I'll try to speak loudly as I can. Voice is totally gone. So thanks for stopping by, and let's get the ball rolling. My fourth pick of the week, my upset pick of the week, is the Minnesota Vikings traveling to the Chicago Bears. The Minnesota Vikings are a 3-point dog, and basically these two teams are on the top of the division. 3 points should go to the home team as expected. The Minnesota Vikings are 5-3-1 as the Chicago's 6-3. Winner takes the division. It should be a close game. Last year, Minnesota did win in Chicago by 3 points. And the last 3 games, they played similar teams. Both teams won. The Jets, New Orleans, Detroit was by Minnesota. They won all 3 of those. Oh no, they lost to New Orleans, but won in Detroit and the Jets. As were Chicago, same thing, won the Jets and Detroit, but they also won the Buffalo as well. The thing that scares me the most is, you know, Chicago's 4-1, ATS at home. It's a field goal. This is a score. If you can get at 3.5 or by the hook, you know, that's even more than a field goal. So I'm taking Minnesota +3. My third pick of the week is the Carolina Panthers traveling to the Detroit Lions. Carolina Panthers are a 4-point favorite. And basically, Detroit defense is so bad. They have the worst run defense. But Chicago said, hey, we don't even need to run. We had, Howard had 11 attempts for 21 yards. They're like, you know, we'll just pass it the whole time. And they end up passing 3 TDs, you know, Trubisky, for 355 yards. So not only do they have the worst run defense, they have the worst pass defense too as well. It's just unbelievable. I've been preaching how bad this defense is. You can go back and check my week 1 video. Before the season even started, I knew how bad Detroit's defense was going to be. Carolina, I think Christian McCaffrey will have a great game. Obviously, he did, you know, several weeks. They got blown out last week. Pittsburgh, I know this is a back-to-back weeks. but I think they got something to prove. They want to stay in the race with the Saints. So I expect this to be a big blowout. So take Carolina -4. My second pick of the week is the Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Pittsburgh Steelers are a 5-point favorite, and the Jacksonville Jaguars on a 5-game slump. They lost to the likes of the Chiefs, Dallas, Houston, Philadelphia, and now Indianapolis. Indianapolis, to me, doesn't have that great of a defense, and still they couldn't do much of anything. They still lost. End up, missing field goals and extra points. Oh, this is ugly. This is ugly. Luck did actually better than I thought, but Jacksonville should have won that game. Pittsburgh, they won. They beat Baltimore, Carolina, and Cleveland. They're 6-3 ATS wise, 3-1 ATS on the road. They actually won the last 2 times in Jacksonville. I know last year Jacksonville beat Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh last 2 times, but last 2 times that Pittsburgh played in Jacksonville, they beat them. So they play well in Florida. So I'm taking Pittsburgh -5. And my number 1 pick of the week, we got the Philadelphia Eagles traveling to the New Orleans Saints. The New Orleans Saints are a 7.5-point favorite. And when you're hot, you're hot. New Orleans is just covering like crazy. Philadelphia, just looking at their injured roster, they have 16 players that are injured, and 9 of them are on defense. I was like, how's Cowboys just going up and down the field at will at the end of the game? At the beginning of the game it was a snoozer, but at the end of the game, at will, and I'm like, there's just so many injured on the Philadelphia defense. Schwartz is a great coordinator, but it's just not going to be enough for Drew Brees. Drew Brees, the Saints defense is actually getting much better at it. They had number 1 rush defense and pass defense in the middle of the pack. So I think this would be another blowout like they had last week, where they bring in Bridgewater and Washington and the backups just to play. Washington played for Detroit a few years ago. He's a good running back too. So, but they have the Ingram and Kamara. Those guys are just highly talented. It's just and the majority of the plays are just screens to the running back. The Saints are looking at their injured roster as well. They have 14 injured. And 5 of them are the wide receivers. They couldn't get nothing going. Des Bryant came in last week. He just had 2 practices and got injured. So they had to cover someone for him. And they actually got Brandon Marshall, who's been in the league 13 years. He's 34 years old, but they got to get somebody in there to fill those slots. There's so many injured and wide receiver. But so hopefully he does well. It's kind of hard to say. Last year in Seattle, he had only 136 yards total, and then the year before that, the Giants, 154 yards total. So Brandon Marshall, hopefully he can still play, help with the Saints, but mostly they're just going to screen off to their running backs. And Philadelphia won't be able to do much on defending that. So I'll give you that all day long. New Orleans Saints, -7.5. All right, this is the end section where we pretty much run down every game real quick. All my notes, got plenty of them. And what I think in my leans, I gave you Thursday night and Sunday night and Monday night leans last week. And I only cleared the Thursday because of the trend. I'm going to do the same thing this week. Every Thursday I win, there's no doubt. The trend for, the Thursday, I might have another trend too. I'm going to give you that as a lead as well. So we got Green Bay at Seattle, home team favorite. It wins every time, no matter what. So give you Seattle -3. It's just too much for the road team to travel and they get worn out. Last week they had a player on the Carolina Panthers who he fell asleep on the bench. He's just tired, you know. It's the bottom line. So yeah, give me Seattle as my first lean, -3. See Carolina, Detroit. It was my third pick. Dallas at Atlanta. Now here's another trend I just happened to find out, that Dallas loses on odd weeks all season long. You know, I know some of these trends are like out there and who cares, but every week on an odd week this season Dallas has lost. This is week 11, so this is an odd week. Atlanta's at home. You know, I know they did pretty crappy against Cleveland, but here they're coming back home after a 2-game road streak, and I'm taking them to win. So I'm taking the Atlanta -3, 3.5, whatever it is right now. So that's my second lean. We got Cincinnati at Baltimore. Now this is tough. Like I said, Cincinnati, after that blowout, they fired Terrell Austin. You know, he used to be a defensive coordinator for Detroit. He's actually one of the best. He's a really good defensive coordinator. I'm sure he'll find a job somewhere else. But after that blowout with the Saints, you know, he lost his job. So they have an interim coach coming in. I don't know exactly who it is right now. But here you got Baltimore. Baltimore is actually like the #1 ranked defense. So that should be and then coming off a bye at that. So, but you know, they lost the last 3 games, Baltimore. So, you know, it's 5.5 points. I'm staying clear of that game. I'd maybe, you know, tease Baltimore to, you know, pick them maybe. You know, maybe that. No, probably not. I'm staying away from that game altogether. See, the next one would be the Minnesota at Chicago is my 4th pick. Philadelphia, New Orleans, my 1st pick. Tennessee at Indianapolis. Tennessee is a 3-point dog. They just beat New England. I was like, man, it's a 3-point dog, and they just got beat New England. You know, Indianapolis. Last week I had a big discussion with several people about Andrew Luck, and I said he's like on a slump. Well, he is. I mean, but if you go by the quarterback rating, and you look at that number, oh, he's great. Yeah, well, you know, he played against the Bills, he played against the Raiders, he played against the Jets. You know, come on. Then he played against Jacksonville last week, which they have a horrible defense as well. So, you know, he's just passing all day. But if you look at, you know, like say the Bills game, he only threw 151 yards and fumbled the ball, you know. So, but does that affect QBR? No. So, and then the week before that, you know, the Jets, he threw 2 interceptions with 3 touchdowns, something like that. And, you know, it's like, does that look good? You know, he had a great game in Oakland. Yeah, well, you know, so who doesn't? You know, I could have a great game in Oakland, you know. So, but you know, granted, he played well against Jacksonville. He did have one interception. It wasn't even really his fault. So like bounced off the receiver's chest and went into the defender's hands. So, you know, I mean, Andrew Luck, the Colts have other issues other than Luck, but, you know, I mean, he's been playing decent. So we'll meet in the middle. You say he's playing great. I said, nah. But, you know, I think the last 2 games, we can say he's playing pretty decent. So he's no all-star. But Tennessee, I don't know why. I mean, Indianapolis 1-2-1, ATS at home. And I was like, I really wanted to put this as my top pick, Tennessee +3. And I just couldn't figure it out. You know, even Tennessee, the whole thing is, I think why, this is only my guess and what the odds makers are thinking, why Tennessee's +3 is, last year Tennessee won in Indianapolis. That's with Luck not playing. But before that, it was like, what was it? I want to say, I didn't write it down. But I want to say 10 years, something like that. 10 years Tennessee has not won in Indianapolis. And then last year they did, but then again, luck wasn't playing. So my reaction, I think the odds makers say, hey, this is a sucker's bet. People are going to take Tennessee plus the 3. They haven't beat luck at home ever. So I was like, so it's a divisional game. Tennessee even has a better record at 5-4, Indianapolis 4-3. All signs lead to Tennessee, and when they do, it makes me think, so I stay clear of that game. Like I said, most of my picks I try to steer away from divisional games unless they're upset and there's a good point. So like the Bears game. So all right, the next game. But yeah, I put Tennessee. I put them in a teaser. Put them at plus 10. It's a good. I don't think Indianapolis is gonna blow away anybody. So take Tennessee plus the 10 for a teaser. I put also on the Twitter. I've been putting the teasers I've been playing in my picks in Twitter. I think what I lose, New England was the only one I lost. Yeah, they didn't cover that teaser. Unbelievable. Anyway, see the Houston at Washington. Houston off a bye. They had back-to-back road games before that. Here they are on the road game again. They had wins with Jacksonville, Miami, Denver. They're 3-2 ATS on the road. And Washington, both these teams are 6-3. And Washington, let's see, they won against the Giants, lost to Atlanta, then won in Tampa Bay. And that was a good game, actually. Washington's 6-3 ATS-wise, 3-2 ATS at home. So this is going to be a close game. This is a good game. Who would I go with? The home team is getting the home dog here. So you're getting 3 points with Washington. Probably I'm going to put this as a lean too because I love home dogs. Most gamblers love home dogs. You're at home, the team feels comfortable, and they're getting points before. And this is a 3 points. This is a score. So they give you Washington plus the 3. So that would be my third lean, I'm thinking. See, next game we get Tampa Bay Tampa Bay plus 1 against the Giants. Giants just won on Monday night. That's another thing. I picked San Francisco last week as my lean. And I'm like, it's crazy as the week's gone. I think I'm just gonna, because I lost the money I won the week before, so I'm just gonna play half that and just throw it on the Giants. No reason why the Giants should win this game. They're 1-7. They should not win. Mullins looks great for the 49ers. I'm just gonna, it just totally makes sense because it don't make sense. So I'm going to throw it out there, and I won. So I won the Giants. So my loss wasn't too bad. So you should never do that, by the way. Never chase your losses. Never chase your wins either. Never chase anything. You should never do that. But I did, because, I'm degenerate. Anyway, the Giants, like I said, they're now 2-7. Tampa Bay's 3-6. Tampa Bay's lost with Cincinnati, Carolina, Washington. 1-3 ATS on the road. 1-8 history in New York, winning against the Giants. Not a good record. But the Giants, you look on the other side of the field, they're 0-4 at home, 0-4 ATS at home. And they lost to Philadelphia, Atlanta, Washington. But they did win on the road Monday night against the 49ers. So I don't think anybody's going to be watching this game. So, that's why it's only a 1 point spread. It's a pick 'em. So, Giants at home, you're not giving up any points, as not even a lean. I'm not even going to watch this game. I'm not betting on this game. No way. Not even worth putting teasers on because one of these teams can get blown out. You don't even know about it. So next game, we go Denver at the Chargers. Denver is off a bye, and they won against Arizona. They blew out Arizona that 1 week, and then they lost the Chiefs in Houston, and they're 1-3 on the road. They're 3-6. Chargers are just the opposite, 7-2, 6-game winning streak. Last three: Tennessee, Seattle, Oakland. Good team except for Oakland. And they're 2-0 versus Denver in last two meetings, and they won 21-0 and 21-13, covering that spread twice. So yeah, the Chargers look pretty good here. So I'll probably be playing that Chargers -7, and I'll also be playing that teaser as well, Chargers on the money line. I don't think they're going to pull a Patriots on me and only score 10 points and lose. So yeah, maybe that is a fourth lean, the Chargers. Then let's see, we got Oakland at Arizona. Another two dumpster fire teams. Should I even continue with this? We'll go Oakland's 1-3 ATS on the road. Lost to Indianapolis, San Francisco, the Chargers. Arizona's 2-7. Lost to Denver. They beat San Francisco, then had their bye, but then came off their bye and lost to Chiefs. But they played Chiefs well, but I'm thinking Chiefs they just said we won this game. They kept it a 2-score game. The Chiefs did, and anytime the Cardinals would do anything, they go score again. Other than that, they're just running up the middle, just wasting clock. Get this game over with. So I'm like, jeez, yeah, that's the way the Chiefs roll. So yeah, I'm staying away from that Oakland, Arizona, another bottom two teams, man. Yeah, the Arizona won the last meeting, 24-23. So even then, but 3.5 points, stay away from that game. Yeah, there ain't nothing to do with that game. Next we got Pittsburgh at Jacksonville. That was my second pick. And last but not least, the Monday night game in Mexico City. Kansas City is getting 2 points against the Rams. And these two teams are so good. This is like a potential Super Bowl. So we got Kansas City's 8-2 ATS. Won the last three: Denver, Cleveland, Arizona. A couple of blah teams. Kansas City's won the last 6 meetings against the Rams. So it gives you something, food for thought. The Rams are 4-5-1 ATS, so they're not a good ATS covering team, but the spread's at 2. They are 9-1. Both these teams are 9-1. Rams they beat Green Bay, lost to the Saints, and then beat Seattle. Cooper Kupp, they're one of their top receivers, torn ACL, so he might be out for the rest of the season. So yeah, it's gonna be a good game. I'm hoping I'm gonna take Kansas. This is a neutral field. I like Kansas City in this. They can seem like score at will, as long as the coach lets them, and he's not doing the play calling. But the Chiefs, +2 look really good to me. I'll probably play them, not as a lean, but I'll also probably tease them as well. So I'm hoping to get the spread at the 3. Thinking most public bettors thinking, oh, the Rams are at home, they should be getting 3, but they're in Mexico City. So I think that's it for the week. I hope you enjoyed my scratchy voice. At the end of the video, if you need a sportsbook, check out Bovada. Check out the NFL Prognosticators Facebook page. We talk about all the latest news and everything. It has all their videos, their prognostications as well. And also, if you still want to watch some games on your computer or on your phone or tablet, check out KStreams. All the links in below, and my little trailer teasers after this video. So thanks for stopping by. I'll see you next week. Hopefully I'm feeling better. See you then. Peace.
You enjoy placing a few bucks on your favorite team? Maybe try your hand at cards or on the slot. Use me as a reference and click the link in the description below and receive a new member bonus and help support this channel. Bovada, just better. IPTV service with over 2,000 channels, HD and 4K, VOD, PPV, and the Sunday Ticket. 24/7 channels and so much more. All this starting at $10 a month. Go to halfmoon.kstreams.tv to sign up, find out more.